We are going to solve the following problem. We are going to find x using right triangle trigonometry, and we're going to round our answer to the nearest tenth. The first thing we need to know is we need to review a little bit about sine, cosine, and tangent. And we were taught that the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine of an angle is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And the tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. And what we came up with last week is that the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. A nice little way to remember sine, cosine, and tangent. Now in this problem we're going to start with a right triangle, and we're going to be finding side x when we have the bottom of the triangle as 19 and we have this angle at the bottom as 24 degrees, and we're going to find x. The first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what x and 19 represent in that triangle. For example, if we look at our non-right angle, we look at the 24-degree angle, x is completely opposite of the triangle from 24, whereas 19 is the adjacent side to 24 because the side opposite the right angle is always the hypotenuse. And we don't even need to know the hypotenuse or have that in our problem because our numbers and variables are on the opposite and the adjacent sides of the triangle. So we're going to look at which of the following, the sine, the cosine, or the tangent, deals with the opposite and the adjacent sides, and it is the tangent of an angle. So we're going to write out the tan of my angle, which is 24, is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. And we're going to solve this algebraically for x. We're going to multiply both sides by 19. We're going to get that x equals 19 times the tan of 24. And I'm going to flip this problem over so x is on the left-hand side of my problem. X equals 19 times the tan of 24. And when I put this in my calculator, I'll just punch in 19 times tan 24, and I get that x is approximately, after it is rounded, 8.5. The main concept here is when you are dealing with sine, cosine, and tan is mark your diagram. Mark your opposite, your adjacent, and your hypotenuse into the diagram, and then you're only going to place these numbers into your problem. It makes the problem a lot easier to solve.